Okay, we're back at it again here. I would say that I grossly overestimated my abilities when it comes to putting this building together. I'd never done one of these before, and they definitely take a lot more time than I figured. Had a bunch of friends, brothers, over helping me. We figured we could have had it up in a weekend, which honestly we probably could have if we knew what we were doing.
Okay, so all my memory cards were full for this bit, and it was kind of dark, so I didn't record that first part, but I got the first arch up, which is the hardest part, I think. The book, the way they tell you to do it is to assemble it on the ground and then pull it up, but that's never going to happen, so we just had to brace it with some logs. We had braces on the other side as well, and then we used the scaffolding to put it up piece by piece until we got to the middle. I still have bolts to put in, but now I'm just gonna work my way up from the ends and just keep building sections.
Yeah, so like I said, that first arch there laying on the ground, they expect you to tie ropes to it, have two people, one on either end, and you're supposed to be able to tilt it up right into the base plate. But I feel like the instructions are universal for like all the buildings of this type and different sizes. So a smaller one would probably be able to be done like that, but the larger building like this, just there's no way. These buildings are pretty daunting when you get them. The bucket that you see on the front there has 2,500 bolts, I believe. Yeah, at minimum, this is definitely a two-man job, because you really need one guy to hold the bolt or line up the holes while someone else puts the bolt in, and then they gotta hold the bolt, stick the nut on. As per the instructions, you're supposed to assemble the entire structure with the bolts just finger tight so that everything can still shift, and then you're supposed to tighten it down after it's all assembled.
We've gone from wet weather to snowy weather, but still got to get some work done today, so see what I can get done by myself until I can get some help on the weekend.
With just one guy, realistically, the only pieces I could put on were these bottom pieces, and I couldn't even put all the bolts in just because you can't really reach your arms all the way around to hold the bolt and put a nut on. I figured getting at least something done during the week was better than nothing. We eventually started getting a bit of a rhythm here. Having a third guy on the ground, super helpful. Not having to climb up and down the scaffolding every 15 minutes. Assembling this just for speed to get everything up, we were only putting in probably a third of the bolts, just enough that everything seemed to hold together pretty good. You know, another big reason why I've been striving to get financial independence, other than just not having to worry about work or income, and still having a place to live, is I really want to be able to get back into my hobbies. I have way too many hobbies, but I still like to dabble here and there. The downside was before I made a decent amount of money, but I never had the time to actually enjoy or do the things I wanted to do. Now that I'm not restrained as much financially, I can afford to take a job that allows me to have a 3-day weekend, and that allows for more time to do the things I want to do. I imagine that after the building's all done here and we're settled down and comfortable, I'll probably start making some videos about the other things I enjoy doing. As you can see in the back there's quite the mud hole. All the water soaked into the clay, and from driving the tractor through back and forth, it just turned it into a 1.5 deep mud hole. I think back, I remember now that I was pretty rushed to get this building put together. I wanted to have the slab on the inside poured before we got a heavy snow load. These buildings, the way they're engineered is that they require a slab that's under tension in the middle to keep the building from collapsing. So with the inside open the way it is right now, the little rebar ends that you can see on either side, they're not connected. As soon as we got a heavy dump of snow on there, it would definitely push those foundation walls apart, especially because there's no backfilling or anything around there. So it was kind of a rush to get this done because I knew snow would be there soon. This last bit here, I left it pretty well unedited so you can kind of see the relative speed without cutting that it takes for every piece and putting all the bolts in. I will say the nice thing about this building, it's not very big. It is marketed as a 30 by 30 building, but that is the outside dimensions. So by the time you get your 10-inch wide base plates and then end walls built that remove interior space as well, and then the insulating layer that I put in, you're looking more at 700 square feet versus 900, but in a way that's a good thing, because if it was too big, it might be too comfortable to live in, which would make me not want to go ahead and build the house I want to build eventually. It has to be just good enough to live in, but not good enough to leave me not wanting more. And then I didn't end up filming the last two arches being assembled. This was the end of that day, and we were going to just finish it up the next day real quick. I was getting low on memory card storage, so this is getting close to the end there. I also didn't film us tightening it down, but that was also part of the rush. I didn't want to have to move the camera around a bunch, so when you tighten them from the bottom equally on either side, and then eventually up to the middle at the top, so that with the weight of the building, the tension, I guess, doesn't build up in the wrong places.